Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. Let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Consider the following statements regarding United Nations General Assembly. It is the only UN body with a universal representation. The President of the General Assembly is elected by the Assembly to serve a 5-year term of office. All the decisions of the General Assembly are passed by a simple majority, so we have to select the correct statement. Only the first statement is correct, A is the correct answer. India has abstained as the United Nations General Assembly voted 141:5. 35 abstentions are there to condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The General Assembly is the main deliberative, policy-making and representative organ of the UN. All 193 member states of the UN are represented in the General Assembly, making it the only UN body with universal representation. Decisions on important questions such as those on peace and security, admission of new members and budgetary matters require a 2/3 majority of the General Assembly. Decisions on the other questions by simple majority. The President of the General Assembly is elected each year by the Assembly to serve a 1-year term of office. Kessler syndrome, recently seen in the news, is related to which of the following? It is related to space debris. C is the correct answer. A rocket stage slammed into the moon recently amid a dispute about which country launched it and discussions on the complexity of tracing human-made objects in deep space. Space debris, also called space junk, is an artificial material. Many artificial material is there, not one, and that is orbiting Earth but is no longer functional. The material can be as large as a discarded rocket stage or as small as a microscopic chip of paint. Space debris poses a global threat to the continued use of space-based technology that support critical functions like communication, transport, remote sensing. The Kessler syndrome is a phenomenon in which the amount of junk in orbit around Earth reaches a point where it just creates more and more space debris. This in turn causes big problem for satellites, astronauts, and mission planners. Consider the following statements. Boko Haram is a militant group in northern Nigeria. Boko Haram is an Arabic word for the foundation. We have to select the correct statement. Only first is correct, A is the correct answer. Recently, at least 200 gunmen were killed in Nigeria during a security operation to clear armed gangs from the area. Boko Haram is a militant group in northern Nigeria and has killed tens of thousands of people and displaced more than 3 million people. Boko Haram means Western education is forbidden. The group's initial proclaimed intent was to uproot the corruption and injustice in Nigeria, which it blamed on Western influences, and to impose Sharia or Islamic law. In 2015, the group pledged allegiance to the Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant. Consider the following projects: Bangalore Metro Rail Project, Andhra Pradesh 24/7 power supply, Gujarat Rural Road Project, Transmission System Strengthening Project. The above mentioned projects have been financed by which of the following institutions? So the correct answer is option D, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. The China-backed AIIB has put on hold and is reviewing all activities relating to Russia and Belarus in the wake of the current conflict in Ukraine. AIIB is a multilateral development bank with a mission to improve social and economic outcomes in Asia. It is established by the AIIB Articles of Agreement, which is a multilateral treaty. It entered into force in 2015. The headquarters is at Beijing. India was among the AIIB's 57 founding members in 2016, and it is also its second largest shareholder after China. AIIB has approved financing projects in India in the host of sectors like energy, transport and water, including the Bangalore Metro Rail Project, Andhra Pradesh 24/7 power supply project, Gujarat Rural Project, Phase 3 of the Mumbai Urban Transport Project, India Infrastructure Fund. Consider the following statements. Mudumalai Tiger Reserve is located at the tri-junction of 3 states via Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. It is part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve and the Singhurhala River flows through Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. So we have to select the correct statement. All are correct. D is the correct answer. The Forest Department is monitoring the water level along the Singhurhala River in the Mudumalai Tiger Reserve in the Nilgiris. As summer sets in, it is located in the Nilgiris district of Tamil Nadu at the tri-junction of 3 states via Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. It is a part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, first biosphere reserve in India that was, and the Singuralla River flows through it. The name Mudumalai means the ancient hill range. Indeed, it is as old as 65 million years when the Western Ghats were formed. Consider the following statements regarding Alps. The Alps are an interzonal mountain system between Central and Mediterranean Europe. Mount Aconcagua is the highest peak in the Alps. So we have to select the correct statement. Only first is correct, A is the correct answer. Alps is a small segment of discontinuous mountain chain that stretches from the Atlas Mountains of North Africa across southern Europe and Asia to beyond the Himalayas. The Alps are an interzonal mountain system, orobiome, or a transition area between Central and Mediterranean Europe. Mont Blanc is the highest peak in the Alps. Mount Aconcagua is the highest point in the Western Hemisphere, lies in the southern Andes Mountains. The Alpine region encompasses 8 European countries: Austria, France, Germany, Italy, Liechtenstein and Monaco, Slovenia and Switzerland. With respect to Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, consider the following statements. It is the largest nuclear power plant in Europe and it is situated on the banks of the Kakhovka Reservoir on the Volga River. We have to select the correct statement. First is correct. A is the correct answer. A fire broke out in a training building outside the Zaporizhzhia plant in Europe during intense fighting between Russian and Ukrainian forces. This power station is in Enerhodar, Ukraine. It is the largest nuclear power plant in Europe. The plant is located in southeastern Ukraine near the city of Enerhodar on the banks of Kakhovka Reservoir on the Dnieper River. The plant generates nearly half of the country's electricity derived from nuclear power and more than a fifth of total electricity generated in Ukraine. Fazilka drain, recently in the news, flows into which of the following rivers? Correct answer is Satluj. Pakistan has assured India that all necessary actions will continue to be taken to ensure free flow of Fazilka drain into the Satluj. The assurance was given at the 117th meeting of the Permanent Indus Commission, which was held from March 1st to 3rd in Islamabad. The PIC comprises Indian commissioners of both countries. The issue of hydropower project was also discussed during the meeting, where the Indian side conveyed that all its projects are fully compliant with the provisions of Indus Water Treaty of 1960. Consider the following statements. National Commission for Protection of Child Rights devised an online tracking portal, Bal Swaraj. It has been done so under the provision of the POCSO Act. We have to select the not correct statement. B, 2 only is the correct answer. A recently released study by Lancet claimed that 19 lakh children in India lost a parent or caregiver to COVID-19. The National Commission for Protection of Child Rights devised an online tracking portal, Bal Swaraj COVID Care Link, for child in need of care and protection. It was in furtherance to its function as a monitoring authority under Section 109 of the Juvenile Justice Act of 2015. This portal of the Commission has been created with a purpose for online tracking and digital real-time monitoring mechanism of children who are in need of care and protection. The Commission has extended the use of the portal for tracking children who have lost both its parent or either of the parent during COVID-19. The children who have lost family support or are without any ostensible means of subsistence are children in need of care and protection under Section 2, Clause 14 of the Juvenile Justice Act 2015. Consider the following statements regarding the United Nations Human Rights Council. It was created by the United Nations General Assembly in 2006. It meets at the UN office at The Hague. All the members of the UNGA are a part of UNHRC, United Nations General Assembly. So, first, second, third. Out of these, only the first is correct. D is the correct answer. At UNHRC, India calls for immediate cessation of violence and end to hostilities in Ukraine. UNHRC is made of 47 member states, which are elected by majority of members of the General Assembly of the United Nations through direct and secret ballot, which is a 93-member body. The 193 member body, so there is a difference between the number of UNHRC members and UNGA members. The council was created by the United Nations General Assembly on 15th March 2006 and it meets at the UN office at Geneva, not The Hague. Consider the following statements with respect to Mekedatu Project. It is situated at the confluence of the rivers Kaveri and its tributary Arkavati. It was first proposed by the Karnataka state government in 2017. We have to select the correct statement. Both are correct. C is the correct answer. The Karnataka High Court pulled up the Karnataka government over the Congress Padyatra for Mekedatu Project, directing that there would be no permission to given for protests except the Freedom Park. At the Freedom Park only they can protest. It is situated, the Mekedatu Project, at the confluence of rivers Kaveri and the tributary Arkavati. The rupees 9,000 crore project aims to store and supply water for drinking purposes for the Bengaluru city. Around 400 megawatts of power is also proposed to be generated through the project, and it was first approved by the Karnataka state government in 2017. It received approval from the erstwhile Ministry of Water Resources for the detailed project report and is awaiting approval from the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Moving on. The approval of MOEFCC is crucial because 63% of the forest area of the Kaveri Wildlife Sanctuary has been submerged, will be submerged. In 2018, Tamil Nadu approached the Supreme Court against the project even if Karnataka held that it would not affect the flow of water to Tamil Nadu. Moving on to the practice question for the next segment. Consider the following statements regarding Operation Blue Star. This operation helped in eliminating Khalistani terrorism. Operation Metal was concerned with the invasion of Harmandir Sahib complex. National Security Guard is a constitutional body that operates under the Ministry of Home Affairs. So we have to select the not correct through the help of the options given. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.